Another glorious week of wrestling is now in the books. Welcome back to the Wrestling is Bullshit podcast. We got quite a bit of stuff to talk about here. We have a big weekend of wrestling ahead of us, and we've had some interesting title changes. I wouldn't call any of the title changes I'm about to announce as major, but definitely interesting nonetheless, each for their own unique reasons. Let's get started with the results here. We start off with Ring of Honor this week. It's not very often that you see a title change on Ring of Honor weekly television, but this week did see that as AR Fox defeated the former Ring of Honor World Television Champion for that belt, Nick Wayne, losing the Ring of Honor World Television title, a belt he's had for well over a year, and now AR Fox is the guy. Also had his first successful title defense at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor, so AR Fox hitting the ground running as our new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And at that Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor event the very next night on Friday night, the first big show for Ring of Honor. You know, Ring of Honor has 3 big shows a year: Supercard of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, and then Final Battle. This being the first, saw one major title change, and that was Dalton Castle and the Outrunners defeating Shane Taylor Promotions to become the new Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team Champions. These titles are some of the only titles next to the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles that AEW has not figured out how to successfully utilize. Hopefully, the story will be different as the World 6-Man Tag Team titles are on Dalton Castle and the Outrunners, a trio of fan favorites there. Been waiting a long time for the Outrunners to get some gold. It's fantastic that they finally got there. And they got there with Dalton Castle, who I think is a great fit there for a fun trio. And hopefully they're able to make these World 6-Man Tag Team titles mean something again. In terms of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, I don't know. Those are kind of dead in the water. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, with some prominent babyface champions, I think we have hope here for the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team titles. It's, again, one of the 2 last titles that AEW/ROH has to figure out. I think everything else has been consistent and solid and fine, if not great. Speaking of great, we saw an X Division great lose his championship one day before breaking the record for longest reigning X Division champion ever in the history of TNA. Looks like they didn't want Leon Slater to be the longest reigning X Division champion. Austin Aries is the person that currently holds that prestige. But no, Leon Slater was not going to be the one to dethrone Austin Aries for being the longest reigning X Division champion ever. It wasn't going to happen, I guess, as Cedric Alexander has won the X Division title. I really, we can't be too mad. If TNA doesn't want Leon Slater to be the longest reigning X Division champion ever, then we can't be too mad. For some reason, they want Austin Aries to continue holding that record. Silly. We can't be too mad at that. That's their choice, and Cedric Alexander is a fantastic decision to have dethroned Leon Slater for the X Division title, I will say. Definitely the case. So, yeah. This title has been on Leon Slater for a while. Leon Slater seemingly has gone through the division. Time to put it on Cedric Alexander. I'm excited to see what Cedric Alexander does. That's it for results, guys. 2 Ring of Honor title changes across 2 different shows. And then we had the X Division title at TNA Impact change hands. Interesting stuff there. Like I said, nothing too major, but nonetheless, significant title changes there. And then when we get to the news, we have one piece of news here, and that is the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament being formally announced. The tournament for the men and women will kick off at AEW Double or Nothing this Sunday. Okay, we'll see Samoa Joe face Will Ospreay in a quarterfinal match. We'll see Swerve Strickland face Bandito in a quarterfinal match, and then at a later date, we'll see Mark Davis versus Jungle Jack Perry and Claudio Castagnoli versus Brody King. Should be fantastic. Should be very interesting. I definitely see Will Ospreay going to the finals, and I see Swerve Strickland going to the finals, and we're going to get Swerve versus Will. And either man can win that. I personally am rooting for Swerve, but, I love Will Ospreay. I'm not going to be mad if he wins that. So, a bit of a smaller tournament, the Owen is this year. I mean, we've seen it be like a 32-man tournament. It's definitely not as big. It's an 8-man tournament this year. And I think that's great. I think that's fine. It is nice to have like a humongous tournament, but I think the 8-man tournaments work just fine as well, for sure. 16, maybe. It's good sometimes, but I'm happy with this 8. And I'm happy that each of these matches has some semblance of a story. The opening round matches, the quarterfinal matches, each have some semblance of a story. Samoa Joe and Will Ospreay have beef. Mark Davis versus Jack Perry has been a match that we've been seeing quite a bit recently, but not too much to the point where we're tired of it. So that's good. Swerve Strickland and Bandito has been built up to slowly but surely. And Claudio versus Brody. I mean, that one writes itself, really. We go over to the women's side, and we have Persephone taking on Hazuki. Willow Nightingale taking on Alex Windsor. That Willow versus Alex Windsor match will be at Double or Nothing as well. Mina Shirakawa will be taking on Athena. And then Sky Blue will be taking on Sari. Should be interesting here. I see Persephone versus Willow Nightingale on one side for the semifinal. And then I ultimately, I don't know. The other side of the bracket is very unpredictable. We got Mina Shirakawa versus Athena. That one can go either way. And then Sky Blue versus Sari can go either way, really. So that's good, right? Because, yes, the men's, while it is predictable, it's not negatively predictable. It's like sensibly predictable. Like if you're telling me we're going to get Swerve versus Ospreay, I'm with that. And it's probably going to be at All In. We'll see, though. We'll see when they decide to have that Owen final. And then for the women, yes, I think Willow Nightingale and Persephone will lead to a big semifinal match with big implications. And then the other side of the bracket is just completely up in the air, really. So that'll be good fun. But those are the results and those are the news, guys. We actually have a pretty big watch list this week, so let's get into it. Before we get into the top 20 champions of wrestling and get you on out of here, let's get into the watch list. Starting with Monday Night Raw. We will see the women's tag team champions, Paige and Brie Bella, defend against the Judgment Day. Should be a fun match for sure. And then on NXT, we have 2 championship matches. We have the Vanity Project defending the NXT tag team titles against Dark State. And then we have Tatum Paxley defending the Women's North American Championship against Lizzie Rain. That takes us over into Dynamite the very next night, where we have 3 big matches of significance. We have FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team Championship against the Conglomeration. Darby Allin defending the AEW World Championship against Mike Bailey. And then Tommaso Ciampa takes on Mark Briscoe in an Anything Goes match. Anything goes. 3 big matches there for Dynamite. Dynamite's been on fire with Darby as champion. There's been something to write home about like every week. It's been great. Yeah, call a spade, right? And then we have 2 big shows this weekend to round out our watch list. On Saturday, we have WWE Saturday Night's Main Event. We have 2 big matches here so far. We have Penta defending the Intercontinental Championship against All Ego Ethan Page. And then we have the Vision defending the World Tag Team Championship against the Street Profits. Should be some fun stuff happening on Saturday night's main event there. It's kind of sad that, Saturday night's main event seems more exciting than premium live events do these days. I mean, it seems more exciting than Backlash was, to be honest. Roman versus Fatu carried Backlash, and I don't think that's something that WWE fans or the wrestling community in general is used to, having one match carry an entire card. We're used to having like 2 to 3 matches, But truly, like, what other match was on the Backlash card this past weekend, if not the weekend before? Yeah. Saturday night's main event looks better than Backlash did. I'll be watching it, and I'll let you know how it was on the next episode. I'll also let you know how AEW Double or Nothing was, because we have AEW Double or Nothing coming up the very next night, this upcoming Sunday. Should be fun. This is the 3rd pay-per-view of 2026 for AEW. Got a lot of good stuff here, starting with their annual Stadium Stampede match. AEW's Stadium Stampede match will consist of 10 total men. All right. Scratch that, not 10. 7v7, 14. 14 total men in the Stadium Stampede match this year. On the babyface side, we have Chris Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Jack Perry. That makes 7. And then on the other side, on the heel side, we have Ricochet, the rest of the Demand, Mark Briscoe, Andrade, and the Dogs. So these guys have been, interchangeably wrestling each other on Dynamite, Collision, whatever it may be. So I'm excited to see this. You got some Stadium Stampede legends in here: Jericho, Omega, the Bucks, and then you have some hungry heels that are desperate to continue making a name for themselves. The Demand is one of those, as part of that group there. The Demand has been doing fantastic. Mark Briscoe, the AEW national champion, will be in that match. Andrade has been on quite a roll. He'll be there. And then the Dogs, who are moving quick in AEW. Like, it feels like the Dogs have been part of AEW for years at this point. They haven't. It's barely been months. They just know how to work and work the system really well and fit the AEW system really well, is more so what I meant to say, I guess. So I'm really excited to see what they do with the Stadium Stampede match this year. It's never a miss, honestly. It's just good, crazy, reckless fun every single year. And then we'll have a highly anticipated match in Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada for the AEW International Championship. This is definitely a match we've been building to for a very long time. And then we have FTR defending the AEW World Tag Team Championship against Cage and Cope. Definitely one of those tag team matches that we've also been building to for a very long time. Tekla defends the AEW Women's World Championship in a 4-way match against Hikaru Shida, Jamie Hayter, and Chris Statlander. Talk about immediate 5 stars. These 4 women in a 4-way match for the AEW Women's World Championship. Tekla's been on a tear. Jamie Hayter's been consistent. Chris Statlander's been consistent. And then Hikaru Shida has just recently added herself into the mix. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. And last but not least, here on matches of significance for AEW Double or Nothing, we have Darby Allin defending the AEW World Championship against MJF in what's being billed as a title versus hair match. Okay, if MJF wins, he wins the title. If Darby Allin retains, MJF shaves his head. So we'll see what happens here, man. I wouldn't be surprised to see the belt go back on MJF, but I've also been enjoying this Darby Allin AEW World title reign and wouldn't mind to see him continue holding it. So I'm very excited for a lot of these matches. These are huge. This really feels like AEW's like first big pay-per-view of the year. Don't get me wrong. The first 2 were fantastic. This one just feels like it has some good build. It feels like we've been waiting for a lot of these matches for a long time. Okada Takeshita, we've been waiting a long time. FTR versus Cage and Cope, we've been waiting a long time. And then Darby Allin versus MJF here has been built up to for the past 6 to 8 weeks pretty consistently and pretty well. So, yeah, man. We got Saturday night's main event from WWE on Saturday, AEW Double or Nothing on Sunday, and then Raw, NXT, and Dynamite are must watch. Per usual, of course. NXT and Dynamite are almost always on the watch list, always giving us something to tune into. All right. Before I let you get out of here, let's go ahead and do the top 20 champions of wrestling. All right. Let's do it. Let's just jump right into it and get you on out of here. Starting with the honorable mentions list, okay? They didn't quite crack the top 20, but they're doing a great job and they deserve a shout-out. We start with the WWE Evolve champion Aaron Rourke, the World Tag Team Champions, The Vision of Monday Night Raw of WWE. We have the CMLL World Women's Champion Persephone. We have the TNA World Tag Team Champions, The System. TNA World Champion Mike Santana. Pure Champion of Ring of Honor, Lee Moriarty. Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. Women's Pure Champion of Ring of Honor, Deonna Purrazzo. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena. United States Champion over at SmackDown, Trick Williams. AEW World Tag Team Champions, FTR. The IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Callum Newman, who's got a great feud with Ospreay cooking up. The Women's United States Champion, also on SmackDown, Tiffany Stratton. Women's Intercontinental Champion, Becky Lynch, over at Monday Night Raw. The World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, over there at Monday Night Raw, pretty much leading WWE right now. Divine Dominion, the AEW World Tag Team Champions. I'm sorry, AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. Divine Dominion. And then Laney Luck, the WWE ID Women's Champion. That's our honorable mentions list. Those guys didn't crack the top 20, but they're doing pretty good, if I do say so myself. All right, 20-1 here. Number 20, we have the WWE Tag Team Champions, Damian Priest and R-Truth. Number 19, we have the NXT Tag Team Champions, The Vanity Project. At number 18, we have the Ring of Honor Women's World Television Champion, Red Velvet. At number 17, we have the AEW National Champion, Mark Davis. Number 16, we have AR Fox, the new Ring of Honor World Television Champion. And then we have the Women's Tag Team Champions of WWE, Paige and Brie Bella here. Number 15. Number 14, we have the TNA International Champion, Mustafa Ali. Number 13, we have the TBS Champion over there at AEW, Willow Nightingale. And number 12, we have the AEW World Trios Champions, the Conglomeration. And number 11, we have the NXT Women's Champion, Lola Vice. Getting into the top 10 here. At number 10, we have the Women's North American Champion, Tatum Paxley. Number 9, we have the North American Champion of NXT, Miles Bourne. And then we have at number 8, the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Champion, Konosuke Takeshita. Just above him at number 7 is Kazuchika Okada, the AEW International Champion. And just above him, number 6, the Continental Champion of AEW, Jon Moxley. Cracking into the top 5 here, we have Tekla, the AEW Women's World Champion. Number 4, we have Tony D'Angelo, the NXT Champion. Number 3, we have Kevin Knight, the TNT Champion, the Jet. Number 2, we have the Intercontinental Champion, Penta. And number 1, the AEW World Champion, Darby Allin. Okay, pretty solid list there, right? Primarily based on work rate. Looking for a certain metric to put you in the top 20 here, really, is what that is. That might explain some of your potential confusion with this list, right? It's all about defending the title. Not defending the title once every 3 months. I'm talking actually defending the title, right? Becoming familiar with the audience while you're champion with title defenses. Not promos, title defenses. Okay? All right, guys. That's all I got for you today. This has been the Wrestling is Bullshit podcast. We got a good weekend of wrestling coming up. We'll see what happens. I'll talk to you on the next episode, and we will break it down together. All right. Peace out. Be good. Be happy.